Hold on.
Showtime.
For the big screen mainstream actors today.
Well, so Doug, here's a question. How can you tell the difference between the real NFT and fake?
All right. Not dazed or confused. Welcome to the Tech School Podcast powered by DSDT, Season 4, Episode 1. I'm Josh Carlos. Welcome back, brother.
Hold on, I think I've earned this by now. Can I start saying my own name? I'm Carlos.
He is Carlos.
You've been saying this for like 3 seasons, man. I think I can say my own name. Okay. I am Carlos, everybody. It's Carlos with a K, and of course, he's Josh.
I can't say my own name.
All right.
Oh, man. It is so good to be back here at DSDT. Be back in the building.
It is. It's been such a long time. You know, I have been in a number of places over the last few weeks, and I'm starting to notice how people are coming back out. You know, so why not us too? You know, let's get back to doing some in-person segments. But of course, you know, we're not going to entirely be in person. We still have our guests that are going to be satellite, which is, you know, one of the fantastic things that we learned from
the pandemic,
of course, right? So we're not necessarily going to just be hinged to be in one spot, but we definitely will be broadcasting from DSDT here in Southwest Detroit.
We'll be here. Our guests will be elsewhere. And as you just alluded to, Carlos, that opened the door for more possibilities with interviewing people from across the metropolitan area, across the state of Michigan, the country, the world.
The world. The world, right? So, you know, people have a tendency to think just because it's Detroit School for Digital Technology, fact check. I dropped Detroit. It's really DSDT. The pandemic allowed us to cross this barrier that we had geographically just in Southwest Detroit. So now we have team members, we have students from around the world. So we're still looking for the pseudonym that we can replace the D with.
Yes.
I don't know what, you know, but for now it's just DSDT. I'll come up with something probably by the end of the show. I'm gonna work on it.
We'll figure it out. Okay, Carlos, so what do we have going on today to kick off this new season?
Well, I thought it was about time. So today, one of the most incredible individuals that I've met thus far as being a tech developer, founder, being in the crypto space. You know, I mean, you guys have kind of watched the trajectory of Josh and I as we've been talking, you know, about to some guests that we've had here on the segments. And, you know, we've learned a lot about crypto space, and we're learning things about NFTs and Web 3.0 and all these things. But, you know, just some of the people that I've come into contact with, they're just blowing my mind. And so this next guest, I thought it would be fitting to have him on as the first guest of the season. Now, I want you guys to do your homework when this is all over, right? He goes by the name of Crypto Blood. What that means, I don't know.
We'll find out.
I don't know, and I'm sure he's going to explain it to us, you know, but I kind of take a liking to, as you begin to search some of these individuals out, you see a lot of crypto somethings. I don't know, maybe I can get a crypto in the front of my name. I don't know what they call me though, right? Crypto something, but
Cryptolos, I don't know.
Cryptolos. That's
Cryptolos.
Wait a minute now. Can we spell it with a K?
It's your name.
Can we spell it with a K? So this first season's guest is going to be my man. And we're not going to even call him by his first or his last name. I just want to bring on the personality, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Crypto Blood.
Man, thank you. What a great intro. Crypto Los. Crypto Los with a K. Absolutely. You can spell it with a K. I know a couple of crypto So and so spelled with a K. So there you go. You got your name. Season 4,
Official?
episode 1. It's official, baby, like a referee whistle.
That's what it is. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Crypto Blood, how are you today, sir?
I'm blessed, man. Thanks for having me on. I really love talking to people about crypto and tech, and so we got a lot to talk about. I'm excited, man.
Well, let's give the folks a little bit more background on who you are, Crypto Blood. Where did you get the name as far as a tech founder, influencer? What do you do? Break it all down for us.
Yeah, so the name came back in 2014. I was like, man, I'm in crypto. I've been in crypto for a year at that point. So 2013 is when I got into crypto. March of 2013 to be more specific. But yeah, I grabbed the name on Google, cryptoblood@gmail.com in 14, and just sat on it literally for 3 years, man. And it all just came from, it's almost like a double entendre. Like, you know, I always would continually hear in the space, crypt this, crypto that, crypto. I'm like, let me play with a name called Crypto Blood. So it came from like just Crips and Bloods, but you get it now.
See, I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So I'm not a Crip, I'm not a Blood, I'm Crypto Blood, people. Yeah, that's where the name came from. And again, I just camped it, sat on it for about 3 years, and then I did a video in 2017. I was so excited. I had never done a YouTube video at all. And so I'm like, hey, I got a Gmail account I can use. I don't want to use my professional, you know, at that point I was running a web development company. I'm like, I'm not going to use my Gmail for my web development company. Let me use this other one that I had just sitting around. So jumped on there, started a YouTube account, and I did a video about my dad. I was so excited that I was finally getting him to get into crypto. I've been telling him about it for 2 years at that point. Dad, get into crypto, get into crypto. Son, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I'm like, listen, get into it now. I'll explain it later. Just, you need to get into this space. So he finally said, all right, son, I'll put, you know, a few $1,000s in. And I did a video. I was in the car. I was excited. I'm like, finally going to, you know, set my dad up on Coinbase and blah, blah, blah. I did the video, and it kind of blew up. Well, that video actually didn't blow up. It was the following one where I was just talking about the current market and stuff that was going on in the industry. And a guy by the name of Cliff High retweeted my video to, I think he had at that point maybe 80,000 Twitter followers. And so from there, it just kind of blew up. So that's kind of the story of my channel, Crypto Blood, the name. And yeah. Say that again.
You've been building this channel how long?
2017.
2017.
Yeah.
So when did you first get into the crypto space? Was it 14, 11? When was it?
13.
13.
March of 13. Yeah, I bought Bitcoin at 89 bucks. Yeah.
You still own Bitcoin?
I do.
You do?
I do, for sure.
What do you think now that everything seems to be falling over the last few days?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast, brother. So so just a little bit about myself. I do have a tech background. Started my own web development company back in, it was really unofficially in high school, man. I was like 16. My mentor at the time from my church, he said he knew I was in the web development back then. He said, hey, you want to take over my, maintaining and being a webmaster is what they were called back in the day. We want to be my webmaster for my site. I'm like, sure. You know, I'm into this space. He was my first client, and I just started growing from there. By the time I got into college, though, I had officially formed my business, started getting clients. I was, doing pretty well for myself. So, from there, so I just kind of was always into tech, but I also was a trader. Trader meaning financial markets, right? I would trade FX commodities. And so when I found the concept out, when I found or read up on the concept of Bitcoin, it married the two perfectly. Like, I immediately that night understood where this was going. So much so that I literally got out of bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and went over to CVS and sent a bill payment in to it was called BitInstant back then. So there was no Coinbase, there was no Kraken, there were none of these exchanges you guys know of today where it's so easy for you to onboard. I had to go to CVS, fill out a bill pay form to BitInstant, and like two hours later, hour and a half, 2 hours later, they credited my account on Mt. Gox. Many of you may have heard of that infamous Mt. Gox exchange. They credited my account with 5 Bitcoins, and the rest was history. I wanted to make sure it wasn't a fraud. So when it hit my account on Mt. Gox, I went the next day or next night and bought another 5 Bitcoin. So that was my foray into.
Powerful to
That
me.
is.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
To me. I mean, how did you
know?
Just how did you know, right?
Because I was a trader, right, in financial markets. I was an FX trader, full time, but I was also a programmer and on the technical side. So when I saw this new technology, for me at that point, new technology, when I saw this paper, I'm like, this is going to change the game. Permissionless currencies that don't rely on the central banks. You got to remember 2013, that was a few years after the 2008 crash. So a lot of people started waking up then, right? So after 2008, I started waking up too, doing a lot of research on central banks, understanding the monetary system, how it worked through and through. So I understood the inefficiencies that the current monetary system had. And I saw how it really stole wealth from the 99%. So I understood all of that. So when I saw that concept of Bitcoin, I immediately jumped on it. I knew this was the wave. This was the future. So that's how.
So I always want to keep it real, right? So I was looking at like rankings for the influencers in the space, right? And I was so surprised that when you were not in the top 3.
Mm-mm.
You know, it blew me back because you seem so knowledgeable about everything that's happening therein and then some.
Unfortunately, there's a number of things that go along with that. One is, you guys as being black men, right? You understand how society likes to discredit you immediately without even listening to you. They see a brother with a B-boy hat on. I'm not in a suit, right? So they immediately write you off. In the thumbnails or whatever, they see you, they write you off. So that's part of it. But I didn't really care because I did it for fun. It was a passion. It was something that I liked to do. I liked cryptos. I liked trading, financial markets. I love this stuff. So it was an outlet for me really at that point, just to, I don't know if I can curse, but just shoot the stuff with people about this stuff, so that's one reason for sure. And then another reason is, a lot of these guys buy views. So it inflates their views, and then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, I mean, I don't, in this day and age, unfortunately, man, people, not our generation, but a lot of people get validity and confidence from the number of followers they have, the number of views they get, the number of likes they get. Yeah. We from an area, we don't care about none of that. It's what it is in real life. I want to know, what you about in real life. So I was doing fine. I didn't care about likes and follows and stuff. So,
I learned early on, like 2015, I used to work at a company and I ran these 7 social media accounts for them. I built 7 websites. Mm-hmm. And I learned as they would often wonder what was the count on X social media platform.
Yeah.
I saw where their peak interest was.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I can manipulate that. There's so many different platforms out there that I can go right now and spend $10 and get to 100 million if you want them by the end of the day.
Exactly. But that's why I'm so unpopular amongst the public, but the crypto industry knows about Crypto Blood. See, all the people in the industry know who I am. That's why I'm able to get Robert Kiyosaki on. I get, Brock Pierce, who's a Bitcoin Foundation board member on the Bitcoin Foundation, billionaire guy, right? I get Max Kaiser, all these people that know me, and I know them because they know what's up.
Yeah. In case you guys didn't hear it, y'all know he just did it. We just not going to miss the fact he just said Robert Kiyosaki, right? We're not going to miss that at all. I mean, if you can get him on your podcast, then you must be the man. Because I've been waiting for Josh to get in contact with him for the last year and a half. It
ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, man. But yep. So
okay, all right. So listen, tell me, because I got to do it to you. I don't know why I got to do it to you, but I got to do it to you, right? So tell me about this time that you were with Warranty.
Mm-hmm.
What was Warranty Ninja all about?
Shout out to my man, Ed Carrington, who was my co-founder in that company. It's actually his concept. And Ed is one of those serial entrepreneurs, and he's always hitting me. I don't know why. My boy always hit me with all the ideas. Hey, G, what you think about this one? What you think about this one? What you think about this one? Over and over. Years and years go by, you know, because we both know each other from the cigar arena. And so he hit me with this concept, Warranty Ninja. I'm like, bro, you got one here. Let's do it. And at that point, we had neither of us had a startup.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all new to us. So it's basically Warranty Ninja. What we were attempting to do was streamline the product registration process. So you create an account once, and then from there, we had actually at that point built the IP. We had created the IP, intellectual property, around scanning QR codes, or the codes, the what do you call them? ISBN codes, I think they're called.
Okay, those
that are on all products, right?
Okay.
We were able to merge that global database, and basically you can scan from your phone that code, and then it will pull most of the data in for that product. You finish the rest and submit, and then we actually register the product for you on your behalf. So that was the concept. Great concept, and we'll get into this later, maybe about execution of concepts. But we later on pitched at a competition here in the city. It was from a company out in New Orleans called Power Moves. I don't know if you guys, either of you, heard of Power Moves, Nolia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if they're around anymore, but it was basically a organization that got young black tech. It didn't have to be young, but black tech people together to pitch their ideas and win, go against each other. And this program, it was a boot camp. So they went to different cities around the country. I want to say Atlanta, New Orleans, of course, that's where their home base was. They went West Coast, they went East Coast, New York, Detroit, and when they came to Detroit, we entered the competition. They got us in there, so we went through the whole boot camp, learning how to formulate your tech startup the right way, thinking about things, the ideation, going through those phases and everything. And we ended up winning an award that year here in Detroit for about, I think it was like 20 grand. We beat out a whole bunch of companies, and that kind of got us kick started into really trying to develop that. So that's where the whole Warranty Ninja situation came from.
So I often tell everybody I can never do any of these boot camps, retail boot camp. I can't do it, right? Because for one, it takes a lot of time.
It does.
But at the end of the day, did you actually learn the skills that you needed to scale the idea to the next level? Or was it just a piece of the puzzle so that you were qualified when you got to where you ultimately are today?
It's a piece of the puzzle. It's both, actually. So I believe, one of the reasons why we could never really gain a lot of traction is because, no shade to Power Moves, but they didn't really give you once you got into the program and you won, because after you won, they flew us down to New Orleans, and there was like a bigger convention at that point you were able to pitch at and stuff. But the funding, the capital behind the good ideas just wasn't there at that point. I think it's better now with black startups. It's much better than when it was in 2014, 15-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just unfortunate that the capital doesn't go to minority startups like they should.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was a big reason, because we saw a lot of our counterparts that had ideas that weren't original just a tweak of someone else's idea. Get funding, get $250,000 in seed money. You know, get 350 in seed money, and we couldn't get anything, man. We pitched, and we actually went to Power Moves. After Power Moves, we went to Points of Light, which was another like boot camp, incubator. Actually, it wasn't a boot camp. It's a slight difference. Incubator's a lot more intense. You got to take time off from everything, drop it, and that was a great program. We really learned a lot from the Points of Light program that Bill Gates or I don't know, somebody with a lot of money put together. And we went from Seattle, Atlanta, New York, and one other place. But that was a great one. I did learn a lot from that one, Carlos, for sure. So
is the opportunity, you think, still here, specifically in the city of Detroit, for those who have these tech ideas that they're trying to bring to fruition? You know, I remember myself back in 2014, 15, how money was being poured into community to trying to get these businesses to start. And quite often, and quite frankly, you would hear a lot of individuals that say, well, I want to do a screen printing T-shirt business, you know, or I want to do a pop-up down at whatever the case, you know, but there's so many now that are having these ideas of tech. Do you think that the funding in 2022 is perhaps accessible? And do you think that these ideas are fundable?
And then also want to tap into Carlos's question with the Motor City Match program. Like, is that an asset to incorporate more of those ideas as well? Possibly.
We went through that Motor City Match as well, and I think we didn't qualify at that time. Again, that was the program was newer then.
What year?
So there was some. This was 2016, 15, 16. And they were going through some scandals there after that were exposed, I believe. But there was a lot of, I don't want to say misallocation, but I don't know. It was just wasn't run the way it may have should have been. And for whatever reason, we didn't qualify, I think, because we needed a brick and mortar. And we're like, look, we're a tech company. The hell I need a brick and mortar other than you know what I mean? It just didn't make sense.
You need a screen printing T-shirt business.
Yeah. So, and then, you know, there's nothing wrong with those types of businesses, but when you're talking about getting funding from VCs and such, man, you need scale. They look for scalable businesses where they can scale you quickly. You can scale up your vertical very quickly with not little to no money, but very little capital to then balloon you into a new valuation, right? It's a house. It's just a game, really. That's how like a lot of these guys build wealth. It's literally created out of thin air because of these your valuations. Once you get your seed funding, then you have someone come in maybe with you do pre-seed, seed, and then Series A. And, you know, they got all these terms now. They change every few years, but that's how you create these ballooned valuations. And yeah, your equity amount comes down as you go for those rounds. But 1% of $1 billion is a hell of a lot of money to me, you know. Sure, so is, right? That's how that whole world works. But yeah, it's you know. The VCs look for scalable solutions, scalable businesses, and a lot of tech ideas are highly scalable.
I love this comment by Kevon Butler, I believe. Pull it up, Carlos.
Which one?
The one right there.
Zcash. Oh, Motor City Match.
Love the good coffee shop and bicycle shop. That's about it.
Shout out to Kevon. I met him at the last startup. Shout out to him. Yes, you're right. And you know, unfortunately, that doesn't build the wealth that we need in our community. That doesn't get us those billion-dollar unicorn valuations. Generational wealth. It doesn't, unfortunately. Do we need those businesses? Absolutely. Starting somewhere is better than nothing, right? We need our communities to start creating their own businesses, and we need self-sustaining communities, right? But yeah.
Okay.
I agree with him.
I got to do this, right? Because we are a recipient of the Motor City Match program, round 2.
Okay.
I just heard the other day that they are in round 19.
Wow.
Right? So if not for Motor City Match, we wouldn't have the lovely third precinct here. We wouldn't have the DSDT building. You know,
Right.
so
No, I'm not saying they're not doing good, Carlos.
almost definitely. I don't
At all. Not at all.
I'm not deflecting or taking away from any experience that either yourself or Kevon, who thought about doing the virtual bicycle shop or the coffee shop or whatever, said, right? I'm just saying that, you know, we were on the alternate end. Now, a lot of individuals may not know the story between Jamie and I, but I was actually a technical provider, a TA, for the Motor City Match program, which is how I even met her.
Nice.
You know, so if not for Motor City Match, I wouldn't have your wife. I wouldn't even have my wife. I wouldn't have this conversation. I wouldn't even be in Detroit, to be honest.
Wow.
I didn't grow up in Detroit. I'm not from here. And I always give a lot of credit to those that are, you know, homegrown, local residents, and I pay respect and homage to that. I remember when I first came down, not to get off the subject, but I remember someone saying that those folks are coming in taking over. And I thought to myself, what are you doing to get some of what they coming down to take on for? You know, so you have a lot of individuals like me that have come down and amalgamated themselves into the community. And I love it. I love Detroit. Love it. And any, you know, way that I can aid and abet anybody that's trying to develop a business idea, and specifically you're from here, I'm for that.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, like I said, definitely. I mean, it's definitely, you know, a need for brick and mortars. Like, you're a perfect example of it being beneficial to the community.
You need both.
You need both. You do. You need both. And it would be great to see more Motor City Match. If that may not even be their mission statement. I don't know, you know, that I think they were more focused on building infrastructure, like brick and mortar businesses in the city to kind of rejuvenate the community. But
probably we're talking about a program that initiated when there was a lot of blight in the city.
Yes.
Anybody remember that?
Of course.
Know, when Duggan came and he said that he was going to create the program, or they created the program on his watch, to help get rid of a lot of these dilapidated buildings around here. We are in the third precinct. This building was laying dormant for a number of years before we took control of it. And there was a lot of cleaning that went into it. There's been a lot of revitalization that has gone into it. But thank God we did get it, because then, you know, a few years later, Ford came in down the street and said they wanted to buy the big eyesore over here in Southwest Detroit. You know, so now this whole area is on an uprise. So I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunities that, if not for a Motor City Match, and some of the great things that the city is doing in order to ensure that ideas like ours do flourish. Now think about it. We started off as a brick and mortar idea. We wanted to have a school here in Southwest Detroit that taught technology. The name literally was Detroit School for Digital Technology, DSDT. If not for the pandemic and what took place then, we wouldn't have, you know, ever thought that we could have students in another state, in another country. You know, we weren't even there. We were just like the guy who said that all he wanted to do was screen print some T-shirts and sell them outside of Little Caesar Arena. You know, that was it. But, you know, thankfully the pandemic did happen from that perspective, and we've been able to dream bigger.
Right.
That's my phrase now.
And scale.
Bigger.
Now you're scalable, because now you can go outside of the borders of Detroit and help, you know, young individuals all over the world, not even just the United States, if you want. So it's, you
Absolutely.
know, the pandemic definitely was a gift for sure. In that sense.
Crypto news with you, Mr. Crypto Blood.
Yeah.
Right. So these are some of the topics that are hot off the intranet this week. And one of the ones that I would really love to hear your expertise on is about the cryptocurrencies that we should avoid like the plague in May. What are you seeing as being the ones that we probably shouldn't be investing in?
I can't give financial advice first. So I would say
opinion.
Yeah, it's opinion based, but I would say instead of looking at the cryptocurrencies you should avoid, because there's so many that you should avoid, how about we talk about the ones you should be looking at? And I spin that around kind of because there's so many cryptocurrencies out there nowadays. It's just too many to pick from that are not going to be here in a year or two. Okay. And that's coming from my perspective as far as I've seen, we're in alt season. We call them alt seasons. We're in alt season 3 now. Altcoin season 3.0. Alt season 1 was when Dogecoin was born, and Litecoin, and some of these coins like Feathercoin, Namecoin. These Feathercoin, Namecoin aren't even around anymore. So there were hundreds of coins in alt season 1 that aren't here today. Alt season 2 was a lot of coins from the ICO boom of 2017 going into 18. A lot of those coins aren't here today. When I say not here, they didn't just disappear. The volume went to almost zero. No liquidity in that market for that coin. That's how a coin dies. It doesn't just disappear or go to zero. It's just that you literally you're holding a bag that no one wants to buy from you, right? So it's illiquid. You can't trade it for anything else. So altcoin season 3 is a little different because you now have NFTs in the mix, which are non-fungible tokens. They're not fungible like a lot of the altcoins from season 1 and 2. And if that's above the listeners, we can dive deeper in that if you want. But I would say in this season, look at your infrastructural coins as a safer play. And when I say safer, you still at this point may lose another 30, 40, 50% of your money if you buy in today. That's why you dollar cost average in. Dollar cost average in meaning if you have $100, you don't put all your $100 in today on a particular coin that you like. You put maybe $20 in today, wait a couple weeks or a month, put another 20 in, another month or two, put another 20 in. So your average cost basis is blended. It's an average. It's not one price, because 9 times out of 10 you're not going to time the markets. So dollar cost averaging in is the best way. And so what I mean by picking the infrastructural coins, I'm talking about your smart contract platform coins. So your Ethereums, your BNBs, which is your Binance chain. I'm not a fan of Solana, but if you are, Solana, Cardano, not a fan of Cardano either. Polkadot, Avalanche, just a whole bunch of them. Those are the coins that you should be looking into. EOS, Wax. These are the coins that you should be looking into because those are the infrastructural coins, meaning those are the main tokens that are needed to participate or do something on that blockchain.
And I was wondering if you were going to get to EOS because you guys actually changed the name of the company, right? From Detroit Ledger to EOS Detroit?
The other way around. So we went from EOS Detroit to Detroit Ledger Technologies.
Okay.
And we had been thinking about doing that for about almost a year now. Just was looking for the right time because people who were in the space were like, oh, you guys only develop for do work on the EOS blockchain, and we don't. We do infrastructural maintenance and security on these networks across 6 different blockchains. So we just wanted to broaden it, and DLT DLT in the space stands for Distributed Ledger Technology, but we put the D behind it, and it's Detroit Ledger Technology. It's kind of spin on that.
Okay, so did you guys pigeonhole yourself by putting Detroit there? I'm just asking.
I don't think so. Not in that case, because we've been. I mean, in the blockchain world, you operate everywhere anyway out the gate. Our clients is everyone. Anyone who's participating on the network needs this network to be secure and validated on every transaction. Well, we have the servers and the infrastructure and hardware to make sure that your transactions are safe and valid when you transmit between 2 wallets. So that's done anywhere in the world. So we can rep the D hard.
And you do it eloquently. I just want you to know that, right? I saw the other day that Flow was being traded now on Binance, and I thought to myself, because that was my coin anyways. What did you think about that?
Flow?
Yeah.
The blockchain?
Yeah,
Is that the one the NBA?
Yep.
launched there,
Yeah.
very highly centralized.
Mhm.
Highly so, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of Solana, man. I know, and so people have to understand, when you get information from media, social media, traditional media, that information you're being fed is most likely an agenda behind it, right? It's not organic. 9 times out of 10, that information is not organic. So what I mean by that is, you look at the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT release. People say, "Oh wow, man, I wish I would have known about that. So huge now. I'm gonna start my own NFT and get as big as them." You're most likely not. You know why? Because Bored Ape Yacht Club had VC money behind them. It made it look organic, but they had millions and millions of dollars behind their marketing campaigns to push that to the masses. So that's why you see that. So I say all that to say, Solana is another example. A lot of VCs have a lot of money invested in this blockchain. It's not a great blockchain. Anytime you can shut down a blockchain and reboot it, essentially, like it's a computer server or something, that's not something I want to have my money, any of my net worth tied up in, where I can't, without a shadow of a doubt, know at any time in the day or night, I can move my funds across that blockchain with no problem. That's how a blockchain should run. Solana, it's failed like eight or 9 times now.
Hey, man, that's powerful.
What are some of the warning signs for cryptocurrency to avoid? Just generic red flags.
Ah, man. So there are so many different categories of coins, right? So again, we talked about, I said the coins you should be looking to buy are the infrastructural coins. I call it infrastructural coins, or main net coins of these different blockchains. And then on top of those blockchains, people launch their own coins and projects. So there are coins that basically ride on top of your base layer network. So there are so many different facets. I mean, from a layer 1 coin, I would say stay away from coins that, for example, Solana, where the network can be shut down either by the owners or operators, or shut down because of bandwidth issues. That's an issue. You should never have your blockchain stop. That's one of the great points about Bitcoin. It hasn't. Go ahead.
Would you put Ethereum in that then? The same ideology behind it?
Ethereum has its own issues. I'm skeptical long term about Ethereum's ability to scale and port over from proof of work, which it is right now, to proof of stake. So that's a concern of mine. So here, look, Carlos, all these in the blockchain world, there is no binary viewpoint of this, decentralized versus centralized. It's a scale. Okay. It's a gradient scale, right? So you want to try to pick the coins or the blockchains that are closer to the decentralized side versus thinking that you can have this blockchain is fully decentralized or this one is fully centralized, either or. No, it's not that type of situation. So you want to look for coins that are more, or blockchains that are more on the decentralized side of the scale.
Hey, Crypto Blood, let's pivot a little bit to the real estate market. And there is an article talking about crypto became real estate's hottest new thing. What does it mean for buyers, sellers, and developers?
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to look at this article, but I don't know what context they're using this. Crypto just became real estate's hottest new thing. I'm assuming NFTs, possibly, tokenizing properties. So it's not actually a new thing. There's a company that tried to do this back in the ICO boom in 2017 called Propy. And they had a token that you would essentially, back then, the concept of NFTs were around, but it wasn't implemented. You would use the Propy token to then buy property, and then they would record it on the blockchain and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think it is, man. I think NFTs will disrupt the real estate market, especially for title agencies, right? You won't need them anymore because you'll just go directly to the blockchain to see who holds that particular property or parcel. You won't need a title company to do those searches any longer. It'll all be immutable, invisible on the blockchain. So that's a great thing. But other than that, there's really no, it's not like tokenizing NFT, tokenizing real estate is going to make it any more attractive or less attractive. It's the supply demand is still going to be the same. It won't change because you've tokenized that property.
Okay, so what do you think about the governments as they're trying to lie their existence, their processes and procedures in the whole crypto space? What do you think about this? Does this become a thing, or is this just a passing fad?
Becomes a thing, but it becomes a thing because they're, first they hate you. What's the saying? First they hate you, then they fight you or whatever, and then they finally join you. Well, we're starting to get to the they join you phase with the governments and blockchains. Mm-hmm. And it's a phase as well, because ultimately blockchains, what do? They eliminate the need for centralized governments and bureaucracy and all that, inefficiencies that governments do bring to many different marketplaces and industries. So you're going to see this. You're starting to see this. You see different governments across the globe really start to try to issue CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies. So they're going to copy what this technology brings to the masses first, of course, and try to confuse people. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're just trying to, keep up with the technology, man. And ultimately we can literally run voting on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. There have been a number of white papers and thought leaders opining on this very thing. It's very possible today to mm-hmm. run a full voting system on the blockchain using biometric fingerprints or other biometric signatures to validate 1-to-1, right? What wallet is what wallet, mm-hmm. and only get one vote per person. So there are ways to do that. So we ultimately will get to that point. You can even have governance on chain. Mm-hmm. So, governments will be less necessary if the people wake up and realize it. That's the thing. It takes the people to come to that realization for things to really change.
Yeah, I can see it now, right? It becomes January 6th all over again because the government don't want to give up the seat.
Right, the government be storming their own capital at that point.
What do you mean you guys don't want us to tax you anymore?
Exactly. Exactly.
I can't understand why every year I have to go and register my vehicle. I don't get that. Right?
It's a tax. It's an additional taxation.
Why? That could be on the blockchain somewhere. Once I put it there, it belongs to me until I pass it off to someone else.
Yeah, that's not the point.
Come on,
it's
man.
all about additional taxation, man. Yeah,
Absolutely.
So and then the thing is, not to really get off on a tangent, but a lot of that additional taxation that we see within our local and even at the state level or federal level is because of how they mismanage funds, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So if we take that back, then we won't need to be taxed as much.
Yeah.
So
taxation without representation.
There you go.
Mr. Crypto Blood, I am so appreciative. I speak about myself. I'm speaking on behalf of the entire team, and we are so appreciative of you taking out time in your busy schedule to come
absolutely
and impart some of that great wisdom with us today.
Absolutely, and enjoyed it. Have me back on, man, for sure.
You already know I want you to come back, right? Because one of the things that we were talking about, Josh, was the fact that he's so creative. And I think that his skills even lend themselves more to some of the digital media programs that we have here. And I would love for him to just even speak to some of our students about what he's been able to do in the transitions that he's been able to make in incorporating a lot of this into where he has to go. People have a tendency to think as a founder, as a tech startup guru, that there are some skills that you don't necessarily need. I was just literally talking to somebody today that was an owner And it's like, well, my team does this, my team does that, and everybody does. But what do you do? What do you do? You know?
Right.
And so when I sit and I speak with individuals and they have all these skills, I mean, literally, I go back and I look at your digital footprint and I'm thinking, wow, you know? And then I listen to him. He's like, well, I don't like Solana. I don't like this. And some of us are sitting here like, what the hell is Solana?
Yeah, I it's so deep, man. I try to keep it surface level because it's still a new industry, right? And it's so much to learn, man. I have to learn every day, as we all should be learning every day anyway. Whatever industry we're in, we should never stop learning. And in this day and age, Carlos, with technology, there's no excuse. There's literally no excuse. You have the library at your fingertips. You know, you got your encyclopedia at your fingertips, literally. So, yeah, we should always be in a mode of always learning. That's on knowledge, man.
Tells me what he just told you guys is
You can.
Yeah, indeed, you can do it for sure.
And on that note, Mr. Crypto Blood, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Good conversation right there. Crypto Blood. Right on.
All right, guys. So you know how it is. Just because it's a new season doesn't mean that we don't have to pay bills around here. So we are going to take a minute to kind of relax for a split second, pay some bills. And when we come back, we're going to be talking to our student guest, Mr. Todd Sheets. You can see Mr. Todd is in the background right now. As you can see, he's going to be up and he's going to tell us about his experience here at DSDT right after this. Okay, well, maybe he ain't gonna wait till after this.
All right, let's just get right into
That's
it.
right.
Let's get right into it.
So apparently, we're
Was
not
there
gonna
supposed to be a
pay-
commercial?
Yeah, we're not going to pay no bills this season.
Okay.
This season, we're just going to run straight through everything. As a matter of fact, I've just been told that we are running our time clock right now. All right. So, Mr. Sheets, how are you this afternoon, sir?
I'm doing really well. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking me on.
Absolutely. So my team told me that you were definitively another one of the great success stories that we should highlight. So
I haven't done anything yet. What are you talking about?
you haven't done anything. I can promise you have. I had a quick conversation with you, so I know you have, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to DSDT and what you've been doing in the process thereof?
It's funny. I grew up in the area. Grew up in Hazel Park is where I grew up. And so it's not that far from where you are right now. And I live in Warren, which is like right near the school, actually, south. So I would really love to come in and see the place. But my experience so far with DSDT is the fact that everything's been online for the first time in my life of education. And I've gone to school all my life. So this is kind of interesting to do everything at home. Luckily, I have things at home to use, or it would be a nightmare because I have some fellow students who have issues. They don't have the computers they need and stuff like that. So that's something that we really need to look into. But I've enjoyed my time so far.
So, okay, I do know that aren't you a military veteran?
I am a military veteran, yeah, but that was a long time ago. That was several lifetimes ago. But I am using the military to go get through this training program.
Okay, so when did you discharge? Well, first of all, what branch of service were you a part of?
U.S. Navy. I was in the Navy from 1991 through 1999.
So thank you for your service, sir. And when did you discharge?
1999.
99. Whoa, Lord.
I'm old, man. I'm an old man. It was last century I was in the Navy.
An experienced individual.
Yeah.
Well, you can put it any way you want.
Ooh-wee. So if you discharged in 99, they didn't have the forever GI Bill.
No, they didn't.
They didn't. I mean, your GI educational benefits only last for 15 years at that time. So what that means then is that, in my mind, you didn't have any more educational benefits. So how are you using any educational benefits to attend the classes that you're taking at DSDT?
This is a new program through the Veterans Association, the VRAP. And I didn't even know. It's funny. It was DSDT that contacted me and said, "Did you know that you qualify for this program?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't." So I started looking around at other schools to use the VRAP. And I ended up coming back to DSDT and using it because they had a film production program. And I thought, why don't I do an official film production program?
Mhm. So basically, what you're telling me, what you just told me, is that we told you about it, and
Yep.
you was going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, because I thought, well, I could go just about anywhere, right? And I didn't know anything about DSDT.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
now that I'm involved, I'm very happy because it's very supportive of the Motor City, and this is where I grew up. This is my home. Even though I've lived all over the place, this is where I'm at again, right? I'm here, so that
I
says
want to tell
something.
you, I want to tell you guys right now, if you're looking at this in the future and you want to question the programs here at DSDT, I challenge you to actually go to va.gov and do your own research. One of the things you'll find is, like in the state of Michigan, for if it's vet tech, there's another round of funding that'll be coming down the chute soon for vet tech, in which you'll learn that in the state of Michigan, there's only two providers, one being DSDT. So yeah, you may get the benefit, but you won't be able to use it anywhere else, right? Maybe, I don't know, maybe you thought you could go to U of M or Michigan State with your benefits, but they don't qualify. So you definitively want to go somewhere where you can use those benefits. You can get the skills that you want in order to do the next phase of whatever that is. And I think that that's what Mr. Sheets is speaking to. Am I correct?
Sure, yeah. Plus, I want to go down and check out the precinct sometime.
Todd, what has life been like for you since graduating from DSDT?
Well, I haven't graduated yet. I'm only on my fourth class with DSDT.
We'll break down the program, exactly what you're into here at the school.
Well, right now I'm doing graphic design. I'm in the second half of that 2 course. And it's great. So far, it's been wonderful. I'm learning. What's great about it is, I went to undergrad and I had film studies in my undergrad. It was my minor. And here I am doing it kind of again, but I did this back in 2009. So it's been a few years. So things change. So I thought, well, what a great way to have, the Veterans Association help me out a little bit to catch up with some stuff. So I was afraid of Photoshop. Now I know how to use Photoshop. I didn't know anything about InDesign. Now I know how to use InDesign. So those types of things are really going to come in handy for some of the things that I do later. I'm really looking forward to using WordPress. Now that I never thought I'd say that sentence in my life, but I'm excited because I can see what it can do, and we're going to really get into that in this course. And I can make my own website and make it look professional and be able to show people what I do, and that is invaluable right there.
So what did you use in the past? Was it Wix or Squarespace or something?
I've done Wix before. Yeah, I had a Wix website. I'm so old. I had a GeoCities site at one time.
Yeah.
So I'm ancient. But yeah, Wix is not a bad little thing. But WordPress is the deal, man. WordPress is the deal.
Absolutely, I agree 1,000%. So if there was one thing, even though you haven't graduated as of yet, but you're in the middle of that program, and you told me earlier, I think you're like a chronic student or something.
I am.
Right?
I am.
He gets education. He loves degrees, he told me.
I do.
if there was one thing you could tell that person that's going to be sitting on the other side of this film or this video at some point, and they were trying to make a decision as you were shopping around with that VRAP approval, what would you say to entice them to actually select DSDT more so than the others?
Well, as far as I can only speak to film production because the other stuff I don't really know too well. But if you've never done anything as far as technically in film production before, this will give you what you need to get started, especially if you're a young person. I'm not a young person, but I could see a young person going through the DSDT program and then getting a job in the film industry as, lowest on the low rung, but you know what everybody's doing. So you go there to be a sponge. You pick up everything you can and you will have a career in the film industry. I have no doubt. No doubt.
Well, that about does it for me, Mr. Sheets. But I got one thing to say to you before we let you go, because we really appreciate you being here today.
Sure,
now,
you bet.
I'm sure you were listening in earlier when we were talking to our good friend, Mr. Crypto Blood.
Right. Yeah.
Did you happen to see? Well, first of all, did you know that he actually gave me a new name? My name is Crypto Los. Crypto with a K. Did you
I helped with that name too.
I'm just saying.
Crypto with a
you got to see where I'm going with this. All right. So, did you happen to hear any of that exchange?
I did hear it.
Great. Did you see that chair that he was sitting in? I mean, wasn't it pretty?
It's a nice chair. It
kind of looks like the chair that you got in the background.
Oh yeah, I've got a pretty good chair.
Man.
I do. Yeah. That's my gaming.
Needs a chair.
That's my gaming chair, man. That's the one that I use when I'm on my PS5, friend.
Oh my man. Well, Mr. Sheets, we really do appreciate you, and we're hoping that we can be as much a part of your success as you allow us to be. Definitively, I know that you'll get everything out of the program that you signed up for. And if there's anything at any time that I can possibly do or anyone here on staff, then just let us know. You say that you're kind of close. And unlike a lot of the other students who are worldwide,
sure,
you have the luxury of actually coming in and seeing some people and, looking around. We just completed this wing of the building here, which, Josh, you didn't even actually say anything about it when you came into the building,
I came straight here and we got to work.
Yeah, but did you notice that you was walking through almost the new wing? You see how things are different?
I definitely know.
That's what I'm saying. Man, it's hard.
Oh, I can't wait to come down and check it out. I want to use the equipment. I want to use people.
There you go.
I need meat puppets for my films. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what meat puppets are, but yeah.
they're people that you can make them do what you want them to do on film. That's what it is.
Well, absolutely. Just if you need somebody that has a name called Crypto Los, then I am the guy.
Hey, I'll keep that in mind.
Until that time, sir, thank you. And we look forward to having another conversation with you. Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Good stuff.
Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff. I'm gonna show y'all something. Hold on.
Okay, well, what are you about to show us?
In case y'all didn't know it, we over here.
Hey, back in the same building. Yes. It feels good to be side by side once again, doing it the right way. The other way was good too, but this is the vibe.
It is, man. It's time to get back to in-person everything.
Mm-hmm.
The school has to get back to in-person training. We might as well just go ahead and kick off the season the right way. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming guests. We have some very interesting individuals, as well as we'll be bringing on additional hosts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you guys should definitively be looking forward to.
Gonna have a little bit of a first take vibe.
Absolutely.
Here and there.
Absolutely. What's first take?
ESPN, Stephen A. Smith. Different perspective.
See there, he's talking with Solana to me. I'm just saying, y'all. Stephen A. Who? Yeah, I don't know nothing about that.
All right.
Is-
Nevertheless.
Is that a cricket player or lacrosse? What's going on?
Sports analyst?
Yeah.
You're pulling my chain,
I
man.
know.
Already. Well, let me not say your name for
Mr. This is Mr. Crypto Blood with a no. Crypto Blood.
I thought you knew your name.
No, you put me on the spot. This is Mr. Crypto Los with a K, formerly known as Carlos Harris, and he is.
I am Josh. And for the Tech School podcast powered by DSDT season 4 underway. See ya.
See ya.